Hi everyone. As you can see, we have again Lachlan that today he's identifying himself as Cody. We don't know why we're not able to change Lachlan's name on Zoom. Bear with us with this technical glitch. I promise that this is Lachlan. It's not some sort of imposter. It's not Cody pretending to be Lachlan. It's just Lachlan identifying himself as Cody. Okay. That's really, really wonderful. I'm very, very happy to see everyone here. Prepare yourselves because Lachlan did mention earlier today that there is a lot of great movement and great stuff happening in the markets, and he said happy markets. So that's good for us. Enjoy your session, guys. Enjoy your live trading session. Take notes, and I'll see you towards the end.
Sounds great. Arlen, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Hope you are magic. As Arlen has just suggested, let me just get this technology sorted for you. As Arlen has just suggested, guys, the markets are relatively happy today, relatively happy. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. The markets are relatively happy, but there is a lot of nerves. There's a lot of nerves building out there in the market. Would anybody like to tell me what they're nervous about? Does anybody want to have a crack at that? That's an interesting discussion point at this point in time. What is everybody? Yeah, geez, yes, yeah. So, Fed and jobs, yes, you are correct. Cole's been doing some research. It looks, guys, it looks like well, again, this is my read on the world, having just had a look at what's going on. There's a number of people that are very, very nervous about the big, beautiful bill, otherwise known as the BBB. They're a little bit nervous as to what components of that bill are going to pass, as much as it's ideally just passed the US lower house. It looks like it's running into some pretty heavy weather. Pretty heavy weather. Oh, look, what's the bill about? It's one of the biggest bills in US history. It's about a lot of stuff. It's I haven't read the bill. Diane. It's about 1,000 pages long, or more. I think it's actually a little bit over 1,000 pages. I haven't personally read it. But the commentators that I listen to who are not skewed by mainstream media, lots of really cool tax breaks. So literally the tax break, if you earn under 200,000 US dollars, you won't be paying personal income tax. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there as if you earn under 200,000 US dollars a year. So no income tax. I mean, that to me, straight up, they'll be like, okay, awesome. I think that's a good idea. But there's a lot of other stuff in there. I won't get into the semantics of it because there are people that don't like it. Of course, they don't like it. Anyway, that's the way it is. So, guys, I'm going here for those just logging in. I'm going to be taking you for the session today. As we're going to be doing the European Open, and I just want to draw everybody's attention to, again, the nervousness. The nervousness that is out there in the world. I'd suggest there are two primary fuels for the nervousness, and that is the S&P 500 is fractions away, like literally tiny bit away as from hitting the all-time high. Right, so literally the highest that the S&P 500 has ever been. So again, a whole lot of people, if you were just analyzing the financial markets, Diane, and you weren't looking at what's going on in the world, you'd be thinking, well, look, everything's pretty positive, because if it wasn't positive, why are people buying and fueling the S&P 500 and NASDAQ and other stuff? The flip side of that, guys, if you want a really good barometer as to whether the market is nervous, have a look at the traded volume for the day. Right now, well, the best market to use in the world, as best reference point, is the biggest in the world, which is the S&P 500. At the moment, we're sitting at just under 28,000 contracts traded today, so just under 28,000. That would typically mean that we're in for a very, very quiet session, or the US are waiting for something, and I'll show you what they're waiting on very, very shortly, or they're waiting on guidance from Europe. And at the moment, Europe is actually quite happy. They're buying and doing what they need to do, which is good fun. All right, so we'll break all that down. Ultimately, All we're going to do today is exactly what we did yesterday and exactly what we did the day before. No variation. We're very boring. We're very boring. But ultimately, guys and girls, and again, there might be people out there in the world with a different opinion, and I don't mind that at all. But in the game of professional trading, and I say it is a game, guys, can anybody tell me why professional trading is a game? Right, for those that have been around for a little while, as you probably realize that it is a game. Can anybody tell me what the game relies on? Guys, what is the game of professional trading? I think that's a really good question. I'd be quite interested to see what you guys come back with. Cole, it is a game of fear and greed. There is no doubt you're on the money, guys. But again, building on what Cole's just said, guys, trading, in my humble opinion, having done it now full time since the 1st of August 2009. So trading is a game of who can stay disciplined and patient long enough to make money. Once they've made that money, they need to pull away from the market, grab their money, literally sit on the fence, come back tomorrow, do the same thing over and over and over again. So fear, Cole, there's absolutely fear and greed are huge. So guys, why do we run a live trading room? Now, understanding we do 10 live trading rooms a week at this point in time, guys. We also have a virtual live trading room that runs up to 20 hours per day. So why do we do this? Guys, ultimately, because the best traders I've ever worked with are those that are educated, supported, and mentored in a live market, guys, until they are consistently profitable professional traders. Right. So that's why we do what we do. Guys, the guy that taught me to trade, I was in a live trading room, fancy that. His name was Rich Malcolm out of the US. Right, he said, Lockie, if you are going to hand somebody a book, literally a book, and say, here's a book on how to trade the financial markets, off you go. That is very, very similar to handing people a book on how to swim and then putting them up in the virtual, literally putting them out in the ocean. So you've given them a book on how to swim, then you put them out in the middle of the ocean and you say, good luck with that. I hope it goes well. Right, so the majority of trading schools in the world, may I suggest, don't run a live trading room because they can't. Right, so a really, really good acid test is to do these people actually know what they're doing, is again a live trading room. Now, why is it so good? Guys, immediate proof of performance, exactly like we did yesterday, as we do every day. Guys, it builds confidence in the strategy and also the approach to what we do analysis-wise. Ken, absolutely, the virtual LTR has been up and running now for about 2.5 weeks. And again, the feedback we've got so far, is very, very good. Now we're testing that for probably the next 120 days. The reason we're testing it, guys, is the US pre-market and US Open is an incredibly profitable session. As for those of you that use the OSR strategy, it was incredibly easy to trade again last night on US Open. So as the whole idea is we build the popularity of the US Open session, make sure everybody is rocking and rolling. And once you're all rocking and rolling, guys, then we put a moderator on and say, righto, the moderator is going to help you trade. Ken, if you want access to that, just email info@samurai, so info@samurai-daytrading.com. Right? And they'll guide you through the process on how to do that. Very, very easy to do. I was literally just logged in. I was logged into the virtual LTR most of today. So this guy's actually going quite well. Now, guys, the other point about live trading rooms, why do we do what we do? Is because we're not forecasters. So literally, if I was a forecaster, I would say to you now, let's buy Bitcoin and we'll sit on it for the next 6 years, but I'm not going to tell you exactly when to buy it. I'm just going to hope it goes up. Whereas in the live trading room, there's nowhere to hide in live charts. So if the strategy works, if the indicators work, if everything works, then you can learn how to use those really, really, really quickly. Steve, you could not access it. Okay, man, I'll find out why. But I was certainly in there, and so I think I started at about 7 a.m. this morning, my time. So again, we'll work that out. Very easy to do. Okay, guys, the live trading room, just for those that are not aware, the live trading room runs 5 days a week. We cover the European Open and also the US closed sessions. We're working on covering that. We're working on covering the US Open as well, guys, which will be really, really good fun. And the virtual LTR is backing it up, running around 20 hours a day, right? Which is again designed to. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Guys, there's a live trading room you can log into. You can chat to the other traders. You can work out what's going on in the market. And again, if you all like a trade and you've got really good reasons for that, then you can all take the trade at the same time. That's the reason we do that. So as compliance, because we are operating in some of the strictest environments, particularly we've got Aussies in today, we've got Kiwis in today. As Singapore's pretty strict, the US is also relatively strict. I've got to run through a number of slides. Right, so first and foremost, we've got traders today trading both futures and CFDs. So firstly, we do need to mention that both of those sort of trading modalities carry a degree of risk. Now, guys and girls, there are two risks in trading. There's a risk of making money. There's also a risk of losing money. So what you find today is we are professional risk controllers. We will literally control our risk quickly. Guys, let the profit run. So you'll hear me say risk control point, guys, or I'll suggest a point at where you say, righto, this is where we're going to control the risk on the trade and we're going to try and let the profit run. And guys, letting the profit run can quite often be an emotionally difficult thing to do. So if you don't mind just going for short range targets over and over again, guys, it's also a great way to, it's a great way not only to trade, guys, it's also a great way to get funded for those who are going through the funding process. Now, because we are trading futures and CFDs, guys, we've got a little complication here. We are going to be trading on margin. What does that mean? We borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that mean? We can actually make money very quickly. We can lose it money very quickly. We can also lose it very quickly, I should say. Hence, the focus is always on risk control. As everything we do today is general information only. We can't use the past performance of anything that we've done as an indication of future performance. We used to be allowed to, but now the goalposts have moved. As in another risk factor today, we do have this wonderful thing called the internet. We will be trading over the internet today. So I'll do my best to identify what the market's going to do, your entry points, your exit points. All of this is done as per the education course that we have, guys, at Samurai. The key point, guys, there's no guarantee you'll be able to get in and get out where we want to get in or get out simply because we're trading over the internet. Okay, now, guys, very brief history on me personally. Guys, my name is Lockie. Long story short, spent 15 years in the army, had the opportunity then to get out of the army, did a small amount of time, guys, at one of the mainstream banks in Australia, then decided that working for a bank was not for me. As mind you, thank you to the bank, I discovered the difference between Forex trading versus futures trading. Guys, I also discovered that there's no bank, guys, there is no bank in the world that I can identify that trades Forex through a broker. There's just no banks, guys. They trade the currency markets. They don't trade the Forex markets. Does anybody need me to explain, and I won't go off on a tangent here, but does anybody need me to explain the difference between the global currency markets and the global Forex markets? Because they're very, very different things. Very different. Very, very different. If anybody needs me to explain it, absolutely easy to do. Now, what I did is I discovered futures trading, realized there were basically no decent trading schools in Australia, so I decided to start my own. That started, officially took off on the 1st of August 2009, and I've been a full-time trader and full-time trading coach since then. I developed all of the trading strategies and indicators and the way that we do what we do, guys, at Samurai, and guys, we're having a lot of ball with it. We're having a ball with it, I should say. I'm a husband, a father, a uni lecturer. So I lecture to guys at university at the Masters of Applied Finance and Investment level. And I'm a massive adrenaline sport enthusiast. Now, guys, if you're an Instagram fan, guys, our Instagram account is i.love.trading. Guys, that's the one I was using in Australia before I came across to Asia. Key point, guys and girls, people put results on there every day of what I physically execute. So if you want to see sort of a pretty heavy level of transparency about what is Lockie doing and why is he doing it and how he's doing it, guys, absolutely brilliant. You can see it there. You can see it on YouTube, guys, at Samurai Day Trading. Guys, and I got this question last week, Lockie, if I want to find out more about what you are doing, how do I get in contact with you? Guys, the best way to get in contact with the Samurai team is an email address, info@samuraidaytrading.com. Okay. Craig, mate, you're all good. So guys, so there's our Instagram, there's YouTube. And again, if you want to get in contact with us, guys, info@samuraidaytrading.com. Craig is the one running that address. Lovely guy. He'll be able to help you out. Guys, what to expect today? We've been following a sort of a mantra, guys, since 2009, which is let the market do the heavy lifting. All right. So what that means is we'll let the market generate the signal for us. As the market will tell you where to get in, where to get out, where to put your stop loss, how much risk to take, how long to stay in the trade. Because we are futures traders, not Forex traders. So again, no one's taking me up on the offer of, Lockie, what's the difference between Forex and currency? That's okay. You guys probably all know the difference, so that's all right. But guys, because we are futures traders, no one can manipulate the market while we're trading. That means that the information presented on our charts, guys, is information we can trust. What does that mean? On the left-hand side, guys, the 4 wows. That's primarily what I'm going to be focused on today. All of those trading strategies are all mathematically based. The indicators we're going to be using today, guys, do all of the mathematics for us. So quite often people say to me, Lockie, I can't do maths. Does that mean I can't trade? It's like, no, the indicators do all the maths for you. So you just got to focus on discipline and patience. And as Cole said, guys, not being affected by fear and greed. Now, we're going to go and have a look at the live charts because there's a lot to work through. As I was also asked last week, that little comment at the top, guys, the virtual. So we're running the advanced trading course in Bali from the 3rd to the 7th of November. Okay, 3rd to the 7th. It should be the 3rd to the 8th of a little typo there. Guys, 3rd to the 8th of November. You can attend that advanced trading course in Bali online if you want to. So guys, the launch webinar for that is next Thursday, the 10th of July. So if anybody is interested in coming along to a virtual program, so you can attend from anywhere in the world, guys, it's going to be running Bali time. And again, it starts on the 3rd of November. Okay, so again, around about 4 months notice if you want to come to an advanced trading course. As may I suggest, it's probably going to blow you away. It's going to be really, really quite good fun. All right, now, I'm going to turn my camera off. So we're getting to the really, really important bit. Guys, I'm going to turn this camera off, making sure it's not covering up charts because the markets are positive, guys. The markets are quite positive, but they're running on relatively low volume. Damsey has just logged in, perfect timing. As that does remind me very quickly to grab some microphones. So some very, very talented young traders in the background who will point out Fibonacci levels and similar things. If I make a mistake, Damsey will jump on me very fast. So very much appreciate that. Now, guys, the reason we trade as a group is one of the most important things I've learned in the game of trading. And as we said before, trading is a bit of a game. One of the most important things I've learned is that if you've got a great team of people around you, okay, if you've got a great team of people around you, then ultimately, what does that mean? It means everybody can actually help everybody else make money, right? So it's not as if I've got some kind of secret sauce as in it only applies to me. Because we are futures traders, or some of you might be trading a CFD on the futures market, as it means that if there's a great signal for me, there's a great signal for you. We can all, as if you don't mind the expression, we can all actually get wealthy together, right? There's no such thing as I've got an advantage over you because I'm better than you, because at the end of the day, we're all using basically the same psychological approach to what we do. Okay, so guys, let's break it down. We'll come down to the bottom right-hand corner. So a couple of things I want to highlight. Firstly, guys, we've got to today watch particularly the news. So there's 5 European news announcements. The ones that are really, really important for us, guys, are at 4:55 p.m. my time. So that'll be 55 minutes into the actual trading session. And just for those that may or may not be aware, as we typically don't take trades in the last 15 minutes of the first hour of the Europeans. Now, some of you go, well, Lockie, why is that the case? The only exception to that will be a pivot-based reversal. Why is that? Because our pivots are defined by a futures exchange. They're not defined by a broker, so we can actually trust our pivots. So, guys, if you're into numbers, not trading in the last 15 minutes will reduce your failure rate on the NASDAQ by 70%. Guys, 70%. And on the FTX, guys, it's now 73%. So ultimately, we can avoid losing trades by not trading in that last 15 minutes. So really, really quite important. Around about the 70% now for both markets. So if you say to me, Lockie, when is the best time to trade the European Open? I would say to you, as it has been since 2009. So think about the time on that. That's the first 35 to 40 minutes as you should be finished trading. You should be well over your daily KPI by then. As if you're not over that KPI, don't trade in the last 15 minutes. Just effectively wait for the market to turn and ultimately off we go. All right, now, At this stage, guys, FESX, which is the granddaddy, that is the granddaddy of this trading session. There are 4 phases up on the daily chart. Let me show you what I mean by that, guys, because this will have quite a profound effect on what we do today. Jürgen, how are you? So by phases, guys, all we're doing is watching what they're doing. So there's phase 1, here's phase 2, there's phase 3, there's phase 4. All right, now, guys, if you may have heard the expression in the game of trading called 3 steps in a stumble. At this point in time, we're in the stumble phase. All right, so you've got 3 really, really well-pronounced steps. They're even clearer, guys, on the FDAX. So if we come up to the FDAX, you've got 1, 2, 3. So 3 very, very clear phases. Guys, we're currently in the stumble phase. So there would be a number of people on Europe saying, you know what, I think we've gone high enough. We might be turning and coming back down the other way, simply because of for those that don't know, it's called the rule of 3, where the market, particularly the futures markets, not so much Forex, but the futures markets will typically move in 3 phases. What it means for us is the markets become very, very predictable. And as a result of being very, very predictable, become very, very profitable at the same time. Now, guys, coming down here to our volume, when I was coming in, guys, 28,000, now 29,000. Guys, that is very low volume for this session. And the reason the volume will be low, there's always a reason, guys. It's not just, people are lazy and don't show up to trade today. Guys, this is what the concern is, guys, 9:30 p.m. tonight. Guys, 9:30 p.m. tonight. Let me just grab a website here. Actually, while we're here, guys, I'll just show you Insta quickly, right? For those that, if you like transparency, where's the go here? Like transparency. This is the I Love Trading page. Guys, this is what I'm doing on the Instagram page. I'll just let them load. So if you're a little bit like, okay, Lockie, does this thing kind of work every day? Guys, you can come in here. You can see what we're doing. Again, we're just slowly but surely building this, guys, slowly but surely building it. What I want to do is I want to focus on Forex Factory. All right, so we come here. The reason being is down here, this is what the concern is about. See, 9:30 p.m., you've got the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change. This is the big one, guys. This is the big one. So the Democrats are hoping that these numbers are really, really bad so they can basically can Trump and say Trump's horrible, Trump's this, Trump's that. I would suggest the actual figure is going to be pretty positive, right? So we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but I would suggest those figures are going to be relatively positive, okay, which could be quite good fun. Okay, so now another contradictory force today. We're 3 phases down on the 4-hour chart. So let me explain what that means, and that is for the FDAX. All right, so let me bring up the FDAX for you. At this point in time, you've got a beautiful sell, another sell, and then another sell. So these guys are currently, guys, 3 steps in a stumble. We have to be very, very careful. It's very, very careful in the European Open in particular. If we start in a 4-hour reversal signal, as that's exactly what the FDAX has done, right? So can everybody see that little, I'll just bring an arrow down, as this little one-rated candle there. It's an absolutely beautiful, what we call static bar reversal long. So the moment this signal is confirmed, this was late yesterday, the market has gapped today and actually started to push up. So what we'll do today, guys, for the FDAXs, we'll be very, very careful about reversing the opening candle short. We're going to have to look for that really, really key Fibonacci failure we do every day. Got to double confirm the candle's changed its color and hit an extreme volume level, and then we're looking for a short. Now, at this stage, the buying momentum, guys, or the momentum, I should say, globally, is all about buying. And that's because the S&P 500 is very, very close to hitting its all-time high. So we're going to have a quick look at that. As we know about this, FDAX may open in a week 4-hour long. It's already done that. For the FDAX traders, it looks like we're honoring these Fibonacci levels from the 4-hour chart really, really, really well. It's really, really, really well. And we're starting to, so for the FDAX traders, we're starting to march, guys, towards some pretty key Fibonacci retracement levels. Okay, pretty key. And at this stage, guys, I'd suggest the Fibonacci extension for the open, only for those people that trade the opening candle, guys, will either be the most recent stair step on the market, or guys, it will be a dominant candle fib. And just as we cruise through, guess what we're mucking around on right here? As quite often this is missed, but a round number, guys, we're literally sitting at 24,000 where we were trading a couple of days ago. So 24,000 is a double-edged weapon. People are going to try and buy off the top of it, and people are going to try and sell underneath it. Right. So what we've got to do is just make sure if we get a really lovely reversal on the open of the FDAX to the downside, guys, if we do get a reversal to the downside, we've just got to be aware that we may be held up by 24,000. Now, for the US-based traders, guys, we'll do you last because it's really, really easy for you guys today. So this is our previous very, very key daily level. It held beautifully last night. Whereas right now, the S&P 500 has come down. That is a 60-minute chart static bar reversal short. What they've done is they've come back down, tried to trigger the short. That's failed. And people have bought off the short. So that simply means, that if we were to sell down for the static bar reversal traders, we might be using this as a static bar reversal long. We might be using that as a static bar reversal long. At this stage, this Fibonacci, guys, this Fibonacci is absolutely incredible. Right? So this Fibonacci is off the 60-minute chart. And we know that these guys love the 133, 141.4. We know that to be the case. So the beauty of that is if we do push up, guys, if we do push up on the S&P 500, we hit that 161.8 extension at the top there. We've just got to be aware, guys, that that's where the S&P will typically reverse. Guys, the NASDAQ will be following the S&P 500 today. So just like we did yesterday, we're going to look for dual market signals. So we want permission to trade the NASDAQ from the S&P 500. So that's going to be quite important. Now, as I say that, guys, as we get ready to rock and roll, the NASDAQ is tinkering around similar 60-minute chart Fibonacci's. So yesterday we had complete disagreement between the US markets. Today, they're actually quite in harmony. What we do have to watch is this pink line running across the screen. The reason we're going to watch the pink line is from over here on the left-hand side. Guys, that's the highest point. If we have a look, that's the highest point the S&P 500 has ever been. Guys, and to give you an idea of how close we are, let's have a look. That's where we are right now, right? 6285. Why is that important, guys? Why is that important? Once we get beyond 6285, if we do decide to push today, guys, they're going to push straight into the 161.8 and also straight into the R1. The key point, guys, if they do decide to push today, but there's buyers globally that don't support the S&P moving beyond this pink line, then we're going to pick up a really lovely reversal signal. Right now, at the moment, the Europeans are setting up shorts versus longs. Right? Let me just double check. Okay. The FESX, guys, down the bottom right-hand corner with 2 minutes to go, the FESX has already closed its gap, whereas the FDAX has not. Now, that's a little bit of a warning sign, guys, that as much as the market is very quiet at this point in time, very, very quiet, these guys will normally go gangbusters if the FESX has already closed its gap. Okay, now, because we are a long way above the 50 of the day, guys, it is highly likely the Europeans will go down first, guys, before they go up. But what we'll do is we'll do what we normally do, guys. We'll wait for the opening candle. We'll just move that down there out of the way. We'll wait for the opening candle. We're going to watch for, ideally, the opening candle to change its color. Right? So for those of you that are not aware of what we do, there's a climactic volume or an extreme volume filter running behind the chart. So it's doing all the mathematics for us. Speaking of mathematics, I see this little static bar reversal on the NASDAQ. If the Europeans were to sell down quite aggressively, guys, and you were to be able to catch the sellers pushing down and basically grab that static bar reversal long, guys, your entry point looks like around about the 859 mark. In fact, let me say exactly 859. So if we do get a volatile sell down, guys, that static bar reversal is absolutely brilliant. I think the indicator, guys, that's going to win today will be the static bar reversal indicator and also the V2 delta. Guys, V2 delta should fire quite well today, right? Should fire quite well. Guys, if the volume is a little bit low, then we'll drop back to the V1 delta. They're both very, very good little indicators. So we'll watch 24,000. FDAX traders, just make sure that you are on the correct accounts. Make sure you're on the correct accounts. Make sure that you've got the right contract loading. Make sure you've got the right ATMs loaded. If you don't trade the first 5 minutes, guys, please do not let me romance you into taking a trade. This candle is already changing volume. Dear, here they go. You can see them coming into open now. So just let them bop along. Oops, there we go. So at this stage, guys, the sellers own the stair step. So the sellers do own the stair step on the FDAX. So we'll leave our Fibonacci alone at this point in time. We're looking for the opening candle to change color. There could be an R1 reversal here. Right? There could be an R1 reversal. If the buyers push up well above the R1, right? If we push up well above the R1, there could be an R1 reversal. Again, if we don't get that kind of really aggressive failure at a pivot, right? If we don't get that really aggressive failure, then we'll just wait for the opening candle to do what it does, and then we will define what we're ultimately doing. These sellers at this stage, these sellers are actually quite strong. There's no question about that at all. They're quite strong. So we'll just let them give us an idea of what they're doing. This will be the push down. This will be the push down on the FDAX and FESX opening candle. They're just exploring to see where people are trading and what they're ultimately doing and why they're doing it. Okay. I would suggest at this stage, sorry, my candle, guys, I'm just mucking around on my execution chart in the background. These sellers, guys, are relatively strong right across the board. I'd be very interested to see if the FDAX is willing to push down around about the 75 mark. Guys, that would be, I mean, again, if we do, guys, the reason being is we're going to start to pick up or potentially pick up these reversal signals here. So if the FDAX is that strong and they're going to trigger this early off the R1, it could actually, we could be in for quite a volatile session, guys, which is obviously makes our job a lot easier when these guys are a lot easier when they're really volatile. So I'll just let the FDAX do what it's going to do. Thank you, Cole. I'll jump on that. Let me jump on that. So at this stage, we've got no new signals. Guys, we've got no new signals on the FDAX. FESX is pushed in the vicinity of the 50 of the day, which is normally what they do on the opening candle. That's not unusual. Now at this stage, we are looking for. At this stage, we are looking for a valid reversal. Right? A valid reversal for the DAX traders. We are looking at this. Okay. So let's, we're just approaching the last 90 seconds for the FDAXs. So what I'm looking for the FDAX traders is these static bar reversals. That little orange candle is a static bar reversal in its own right. If you are a static bar reversal trader, as you've got a short at 92, naturally you're going to have a 5-point first target and risk control. So again, you can enter that, guys. You can either wait for this candle to close and enter on the new candle. If you are going to enter, guys, at 92, guys, you are going to hold risk, and we are in the last 90 seconds of the candle. All right, so you're actually better off at this stage. Guys, for those that are not aware of what we do, better off waiting for that 90 seconds to close before we look for a new entry. Now, at this stage. At this stage, if the FDAX was to get above, as if we do get above the R1, we won't be looking for shorts under the R1. I'm just changing ATMs in the background. So we'll just let him count down, guys. Just let him count down. I'll jump on that. I'll jump on that in a sec, Steve. I'll just watch this opening candle. For the American-based traders, you guys are now coming online once Europe basically tries to decide what it's going to do. I would suggest at this stage, guys, the sellers own the stair step on FDAX. So we do need the buyers to push back in. We do need the buyers to push back in, ideally fail at known areas. Fancy that, 24,000. Ideally, we need them to fail at known areas before we're looking for a trade. The ultimate, because the ultimate number, may I suggest, the ultimate number for these guys is going to be, can they basically get down around about 975? This is a really, really key test. This is a really key test for the FTAX traders. Now, at this stage, we've got no new signals. Guys, got no new signals on the FTAX. If we do get a higher high, guys, the higher high would have to push above this level here. As we're then looking at Fibonacci reversals off larger charts. We want the buyers to steal the stair step. Guys, we want that stair step to then fail so we can join the switch of momentum. There's literally the change of momentum in the market. As I'm looking for a sell down to 975, because if we do get anywhere near 975, it's basically going to set the temperament for the day. And it's going to give us a really kind of volatile hint as to what these guys are thinking about. And that's always good fun. Right? That's always good fun. Okay, so V2 deltas. Sorry, the V2 deltas on the way down here on the FDAX. If you are a V2 delta trader, then you have got valid delta signal short at 982. If you did trade the static bar reversal short, just here on the FDAX, the mathematical algorithm going behind that indicator is incredible. So your short is at 92. You guys know the drill. First target 87, second target 82, third target 77. That's obviously going very, very well. So again, if that's you guys, if you trade SBRs, well done. Now for the Americans, guys, we're looking for agreement here Fibonacci-wise. At the moment, the buyers own the stair step, so we're looking for selling-based reversals. NASDAQ, guys, has got the best room down to its MDI. So for the Nazi traders, you guys are looking for Fibonacci failure. If you look for a push through to the 88.6, guys, then you enter underneath the red Fibonacci's. If that's what you do, then you would be short already. If you are a delta trader, you're looking for a delta short to confirm after they push up and fail at these Fibonacci's. Swing trigger long. Lockie, Mark, are we in a swing trigger long? So they sold down. So yes, we are, mate. The swing trigger long was that candle there. That SBR candle for a short is also a swing trigger long. So we're in a swing trigger long on the 5-minute chart. Let me just double check. On the 15-minute charts, we are. Yeah, we're loading a swing trigger long on the 15-minute charts as well. So note with interest, again, it's a great question about swing triggers. Guys, note with interest, we haven't got any selling deltas, so there's no institutional agreement with the NASDAQ to sell down yet. All right, so the only signal we would be getting is for those people that trade under the 76 Fibonacci. You're looking for a short, guys, at 886 even, so literally 22886 even. Guys, you would be looking for, guys, your volatility is only 22, so you would be looking for a 10-tick first target and risk control point. So your volatility is very, very, very low, guys, on the NASDAQ at this stage, probably because of the European US news coming through. So what does it mean? Guys, that's actually the lowest volatility we've had all this week. Right, so some NASDAQ traders will straight away be going, whoa, hang on a second. As your first target and risk control point, guys, would look like this. All right, now the FDAX, guys, again, back to DAXI, if you're short on the deltas, guys, either 982 or you're short at 978, then you're going for 5-point targets. For those that are waiting, guys, for a delta on the NASDAQ, guys, at this stage, there's no institutional selling. I said, no one's interested in selling this. How do we know that's the case? There's no selling deltas on either of these candles. Okay, so that being said, for those that are being really careful, looking for dual market signals, guys, as per this comment here, you would want the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 to move well away from the MDI, the trend indicator down here, move well away from the trend indicator, and both fail simultaneously at a similar level. Now, we'll keep an eye, guys, we'll keep an eye on volume. Also keep an eye on volume. At this point in time, okay, just watch the last 90 seconds. So that's a trap that a lot of people that generally, I say, don't know what they're doing. It's a trap that a lot of people can fall into. Right. What the NASDAQ has done, guys, the NASDAQ has given us an efficient bar to the high side. The S&P 500 agrees, but may I suggest, guys, the S&P 500 is trading into a spot where it's failed multiple times already. So I would suggest at this stage, guys, we're not going to go long on the NASDAQ. I would suggest we're better off looking for a short. Now, what does that mean? Guys, I'll get rid of the Fibonacci for a moment. It means that we're going to have to watch for both US markets to push up to key Fibonacci levels like these green 88.6s just here. If these guys were to push up, guys, push through that like a knife through butter and then fail badly, provided the S&P 500 is doing the same, provided the S&P is doing the same, then we're in a really, really good spot, guys. It would be great if the S&P pushed up to that 2024 high and failed really badly. Now, at this stage for the FDAX traders, guys, for the FDAX traders, if you are short on the FDAX on either one of those deltas, guys, you're looking for 5-point targets. You've gone way beyond those 5-point targets. Right, for those that are not aware, guys, the FDAX does offer a 5-point KPI. So again, if we can get it to move 5 points in our favor, guys, that is our daily KPI for the new traders. Clearly, it's gone way beyond that, guys, if you are a delta trader on the FDAX. Right now, we're just waiting, guys, at this stage for the OSR to be set. Guys, once the OSR is set, we're going to get a really good idea as to what these guys are going to be thinking. So for the Nasdaq traders, we can't go up. We're only going down. Right? I note we still don't have selling deltas. Right? We still don't have selling deltas. They will come as soon as these guys decide what they're doing. Dan, you got a 5 and a 10 off the FDAX. Well done, mate. I got a 5 and a 2 with my ATM. So not very impressive at this stage. I'm sitting at $269 in profit. So nothing like yesterday. I think by this time yesterday, I was sitting at around 1,200 US. It's a very different game. It was a very different game today, but it's still profit. Profit is profit. I don't think anyone can take that away from you, guys and girls. Profit is profit. So where did my profit come from, guys? This little static bar reversal. Okay, so that is, I said as we came in today, I think it's the SBR indicator and the Delta V2 indicator that we're going to use to make the most money today. Again, SBR, magic, Delta V2, absolutely magic. Right, so we'll just keep chipping away. We are going to pick up a couple of good little trades today, so we'll just keep chipping away. For the FDAX traders, there is a 50 Fibonacci reversal here. Right, so if you trade, because the sellers own the stair step, if you trade off the 50 fib, guys, your entry point over the top of the 50 fib is at 973. Your first target is 978. So I'm about 15 seconds late identifying that for you. Guys, if you follow the stair step mentality, sellers own the stair step. We're looking for buying base reversals only. We've waited for them to cruise down here, test Fibonacci and fail badly. So for the FDAX traders, guys, you've got a long at 973, or you can use, fancy that, guys, the V2 Delta, the black diamond over there on the left-hand side. You can use that as a confirmation that is definitely worth buying. All right, now if you have bought it, guys, FDAX at this stage, you're looking for 5-point first targets, please. All right, 5-point first targets. Now for the NASDAQ, guys, this is not going to, I'm very, very glad we are not long, guys. So note that we've got dual market signals. Really, really important today, guys. Really, really important. So I'm glad we're not long on the NASDAQ. That would be looking pretty sad at this point in time. What we're looking for, guys, is an efficient CORPC candle, right? So we need this strength indicator to trigger on this one. We also need them to close outside the range of the previous candle. We want them that to occur on both US markets simultaneously, guys, and then we're looking for shorts. All right, let me just have a look in context with the larger stuff. These shorts are not going to be very strong, guys. So I would not be surprised at all if this does not give us a CORPC candle. Let's just wait and see what it does. I've got 5 and 13 opening trade. Lucky, all done. Well done, Petros. That's fantastic, mate. Well done. All right, so well done. So again, mate, as we've said many, many times, take the profit and run. Okay, so for the NASDAQ, guys, that is not an efficient candle. So there is no strength indicator behind that candle. So we are not selling the market short. S&P, you've got no seller strength either. So we're not going to sell the market short at this stage. For the FDAX traders, okay, mate, I'll jump on that, mate. I'll jump on that. Well done. So for the DAX traders at this stage, we would need the sellers to sell down in just a little bit further, guys, just a little bit further. And you guys are looking for a repeat long. This time you're going to be a little bit careful with this one, right? So instead of a 972 entry, you guys are looking for 973. Now, guys, if you're going to go long at 973, you've got a first target of 978, please. Okay, so if you're going to go long at 973, as your first target on FDAX is 978. Now, that is only for those people that trade off the 50 fib of the day. It's just quantifying if that is your trading style, then brilliant. Now, this is an OSR trade. Right? So the sellers are currently trying to sell down to the OSR. This normally doesn't go very well for the sellers. So as much as they're showing a little bit of love at this point in time, is what would typically occur, let's say in the next 45 to 50 seconds, is the sellers will show us, are they definitely going to test this OSR or not? As if the buyers are going to grab these sellers, right? If the buyers are going to grab the sellers, yeah, 73 is fine, guys. Then that's if you trade off the 50 fib of the day, guys. So don't let me romance you into taking trades you don't normally take. We want these sellers, as ideally, we want these sellers to push down. They're coming to about the time where the buyers, if they're going to respond, will respond. Now, the FESX, as we're basically trading in between pivots down there. So what may I suggest slowing down the buyers a little bit on FDAX would be, again, the FDAX traders watching the FESX. All right, now at this stage, we've got a gap up on the FESX. We've got a gap up on the FDAX. As we're just letting these sellers cruise down, doing what they need to do. And then ideally, we're going to pick up that 50 fib trade. All right, so a 73 entry, as a 73 entry is okay. I don't want to enter, guys, at 73 in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So what I need is these buyers to be impressive. That Delta V2, guys, is valid on NASDAQ, right? That Delta V2. Now, if you are a Delta trader on NASDAQ, guys, there's an entry of 77.25. Your volatility, guys, would call for a 10 to 12 tick risk control point. All right, so I'm just focused on the NASDAQ traders at this stage. Guys, you can go for larger targets if you want to. Just want to watch this FDAX very, very closely. Okay, if you are short on the NASDAQ, guys, on that Delta V2, you've gone through the 20-tick target. Now you've controlled your risk. You can't lose any money. FDAX looks like it's going to move down, guys. It looks like it's going to move down and ideally offer us a reversal off yesterday's high. Now, we are in the last 90 seconds, guys. We are in the last 90 seconds of FDAX, so I'm now not going to take a long trade. I'm going to wait for this candle to close and then look a trade. Craig, you've done very, very well. All right, for those that trade the NASDAQ Delta, guys, if you took the trade at 22.75, Junior traders are looking for a 10-tick target. Senior traders are looking for a 20-tick target. Everybody's controlling their risk at 10. That's just gone straight through the 20-tick target. It's exactly what we were expecting. Guys, the first institutional orders have come in today and they're short. Now, that doesn't mean everyone's going to dump it short. It just means that we've now got to keep an eye on the bias of the market switching short. Now, for the FDAX traders, Cole, okay, yeah, mate, no problem with that at all. No problem with that at all. The OSR, Cole, the OSR is way more specific in this session to the FDAX. So you can keep an eye on it on the Nasdaq, sure, but it's actually more powerful. It's actually more powerful on the FDAX. But I'll talk about the correlation, mate, if we need to. Okay, so at this stage, guys, for the FDAX traders, 100%, if we get a lower low here, you guys are looking for a reversal long. Guys, a reversal long off yesterday's high. Now, what I would personally love to see, guys, is the sellers cruise down. Again, under the pre-bottom would be amazing. Guys, and then we get a ricochet coming back through. The reason I want that, guys, is that the FESX has already closed its gap. The FDAX may want to try and push down to its gap. Okay, now, if I was wanting to go long, guys, over the top of yesterday's high is at 942. I'd be looking for an entry at 945. So I'm being a little bit careful with that entry, guys, putting it a little bit further above because I need the buyers to do a significant amount of work to actually get to that entry point. We do have the open, guys. We do have the open at 950, right? 950. So what it ultimately, yeah, so 951, I should say, sorry. So guys, if you have gone long on the FDAX off yesterday's high, your risk control point, guys, is 950. You've just gone through 950. So for those that were looking for the lower low and an entry at 945, you've gone long at 945. Your first target is 950. You're already out of your first target, guys, and you've controlled your risk. So there's nothing at risk on this trade, right? If this is not the turning point for the FDAX traders, we don't want to get caught on the wrong side of an angry FDAX. All right, so if anybody has gone long as a pivot-based reversal, goes over yesterday's high, even being a little bit careful, 945 entry, 950 first target, you've obviously gone through that. Right, now, why is that important? Guys, that's important because if you are an FDAX trader, guys, I know I've already drawn it on, but 5-point target, guys, when the volatility is so low, a 5-point target, we can just keep punching this over and over again for 5 points. And as again, it's only 125 US dollars per contract. But if you're on a couple of contracts, guys, every time we do that, it's $250, which is, you know, that actually adds up relatively quickly. Now, again, for the DAX traders, NASDAQ, all we can do is if you're short is stay short. We're looking for new signals. We're looking for new signals to go short at this point in time. What I would suggest at this stage is if we get much beyond the S&P 500, if it gets much beyond its trend indicator here, if we get down here, again, particularly if we start picking up V2 deltas, the red diamond deltas on S&P, as we're gonna sell. Remy, you went short for 50 times 4, so well done, mate. That's a beautiful trade. For the FDAX traders, I was about to say, guys, if you want to go long again, all you need to do is the sellers need to push down, fail at an area, turn around and come back the other way. So for the FDAX traders, you may have re-entered at 945. If you did re-enter at 945, your first target is 950. Right now, your volatility, guys, on FDAX, your volatility is calling for short range targets at this stage. So I don't mind, guys. I don't mind plugging away short range targets. Again, if you're on 2 contracts, that's 250 US dollars a trade, 3 or 4 really good trades. You're up around 1,000 US dollars. That's not too bad, as it's not too bad in the scheme of things. Now we're looking for, well done, Remy. Well done, well done. So we're looking for clear guidance as to what the US markets are doing. If you are a US trader, guys, and it's really boring at this point in time, it's basically because they don't know what they're doing yet. And that would be because we have a disagreement between the FDAX and the FESX. Right. So what does that disagreement look like? Guys, we've got the FESX currently trading below its gap, below its gap. So basically, that's a big sign we're going to sell. Well done, Craig. Big sign we're going to sell. As at this point in time, the FDAX is nowhere near its gap. Right. So see that disconnect? So the Europeans don't quite know what they're doing yet. It's not unusual. They normally shake themselves out in the first half an hour or so, so about 6 minutes or so. And these guys should start to show a degree of cooperation. You've gone long, Craig. So guys, Craig's trade would look a little bit like this. So we can draw a Fibonacci up like that to catch them on the way down. So Remy's gone long, guys, off this micro little 50 here. That's obviously gone quite well. Let me move the square out of the way. For the beginner traders, guys, we're looking for all these markets to agree with each other. Right now, it's kind of a little bit slim picking. But I tell you what would be amazing, guys, for the American traders, if we were to push back up, guys, fail at the areas we've failed at now, then we're probably going to pick up a better short and it's going to move a little bit faster. Dan, you got a +5 on the FDAX off yesterday's high. Well done. Again, for the DAX traders, what I'm looking for is now I'm going to wave the Cody flag on this one. As I'm looking for a lower low. That would be brilliant. The reason I'm looking for a lower low, and I'm starting to get a little bit picky on the FDAX. All right, we're almost 30 minutes into the session. We've got the FESX getting caught between pivots. That is going to influence the confidence of the FDAX traders. Guys, it's also going to suck the volume out of the FDAX market. All right, let's have a look. So we've gone from almost 300 to 48. Now 49. So it's again, these guys and girls, this European Open is very predictable. Craig. Oh dear. So guys, very, very predictable. Again, we'll just let them come to us, guys. We did exactly this yesterday. It went quite well. We'll just keep pushing, guys, and see what we come up with. Let's just. Now, your volatility, guys, on FDAX is dropping. So you're going from 24s down to 21s. So again, very, very easy to justify a 5-point target on FDAX, guys, when the volatility is dropping. Just be very careful. There's lots of people out there in the world that will say, you've got to go for a 1-to-1 risk to reward. That's great, guys, in a perfect world where the sun is shining and, everything's rainbows and unicorns. But in the actual game of professional trading, the 1-to-1 risk to reward stuff, as it's kind of 23, 24 years old. It's like really, really old way of thinking. And again, you would probably be avoiding some really amazing trades just because you've got that idea in your head. It's got to be 1-to-1. It doesn't have to be 1-to-1 to make a lot of money out of trading. It's a bit of a fantasy. Daniel, don't have to follow what I say, man. I'm just telling you what I think. Mate, and to be honest, mate, I've only made $296 today, guys. Yesterday it was 1,200, I think. Let me just check. It's on Instagram. Won't be hard to find. So again, mate, we're not missing any trades, guys. I'm just going to double check what I did yesterday. I mean, it's all there for everybody to see. Sorry, 1,242 US. So I'm 1,000 US behind where I was yesterday. 1,000 US behind. The FDAX is looking really beautiful to go long. This is absolutely brilliant. Lower low. Again, some of you, the Dan Gs of the world, guys, you might have seen the lower low and you may have actually gone long again off yesterday's high. Right, you can do a 45. I'd prefer to start to wind it down now to 44, even 43. As it looks like everybody's starting to turn. Now, if you're not already long on the FDAX, guys, please don't go long in the last 90 seconds of the candle. All right, so just keep an eye on that. As very soon, your indicators are actually going to change colors for you, reminding you, please don't go long in the last 90 seconds. All right, really, really important that your indicators are designed to help you make money as over and over and over and over again. Now, speaking of that, we've got the S&P 500, guys, pushing up to the 2025. That's the highest it's been, guys. The highest it's been, guys, in 2025. It's just tagged that level just then. Keith, well done. So at this stage, guys, with the S&P 500, again, it's going to give us a strong candle into an area we can't trade. We're now looking for shorts, right? So FDAX traders, you're looking for longs. So FDAX, you're looking for longs. Nazi, you're looking for shorts. Now, for the FDAX traders, if we close back inside the OSR, on both European markets, which we have just missed. I want to be long on FDAX. I would love to be long on FDAX. They've closed just under the OSR, which is a shame, but I do think they're kind of they're lively, guys, which is brilliant. If anybody did pick the lower low, guys, I said we need to be a Cody on this one. If everybody did pick the lower low and go long again, you guys have had 3 reversals off yesterday's high. Right, every one of them has gone where they need to go. For the look at this. S&P's lost, guys. The buyers have lost their mojo. So we're looking for shorts on the NASDAQ. As your volatility is only 34, guys, your volatility is only 34. So I'm going to bring Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. Yep, exactly right. Those 76s, as if we push through those 76s and fail, then we're looking for a short range sell, as a short range sell. Okay, so that ultimately means you can go long if you want with a 20 tick target, but we're going to have a 10 tick risk control. All right, so a 10 tick risk control point. We are not going to hold risk on that trade for very long. As for the FDAX traders, right, I really wanted to be long, guys, inside this OSR. These deltas here, those deltas there, are all the institutions saying, hey, you know what, we agree with you, Lockie, isn't this brilliant? I just can't put you long, guys, on the deltas because we didn't close inside the OSR. Okay. For the NASDAQ, guys, if we get a red diamond delta short, or to the S&P 500 traders, if we get a red diamond delta short, S&P, you're looking for a 4 tick first target and risk control. FDAX, I would love to be long. Guys, I can't send you long. Mind you, I don't think this long is going to last very long. Am I allowed to say that? I don't think the long is going to last very long. Dan, shame I'm at KPI. Mate, I'm at my, what am I? I'm at my lowest KPI at the moment. Right, so I'm at my lowest KPI. As I would love to be able to tell you that I'm doing better than that, but at this stage, as I've only actually picked up one trade. And that's actually gone relatively well, but I'm looking for sort of really, really cool little sort of powerful little sell down. Now we do have news today. So we do have news today. What does that ultimately mean? The news could be positive or negative. We do have to keep an eye particularly on the French news. That's around about 20 minutes away though. Sorry, 15 minutes away for the French news. And for the German news, that is the one we definitely have to keep an eye on. Okay, so we'll just see what these guys are doing. Okay, this one. Okay, that one there. Now, I'm just watching the FDAX guys. They're obviously pushing. They're trying to get back inside their OSR. I can't send you long because they haven't met that condition, so I can't actually send you long. We're basically just waiting from guidance as to the FESX as to what they're going to do. Guys, a very key test level for the FDAX would be 955. So if the FDAX wants to get angry, a key level will be 955 in the market. So that's basically where everybody decided they wanted to reverse the market. Okay, no selling deltas. So I've got no selling deltas on the FDAX, no selling deltas on the American markets. Volume is still okay, guys, but I note the volume is starting to vanish. The volume is starting to vanish on the NASDAQ, probably because we might be heading towards this news. Right? So we'll just see what they now do. Okay, so FDAX, we've got an incredibly strong candle. Let's just start stripping some detail off here. Guys, incredibly strong buying candle. Sellers own the stair step. Right, so for the FDAX traders, we're looking for buying base reversals only. That black diamond delta, guys, at 987 is valid on FDAX, provided we don't have a Fibonacci coming back down to meet you. It's not tradable, guys. That's the Fibonacci issue I've got here is that is not that is not what we want at this point in time, right? So for the FDAX traders, you've got an incredibly strong buying candle, no question about that at all. The delta, I've got you a little bit too close to these 76 fibs. Right, so a little bit too close to the 76 fibs. What we're going to have to do, guys, is keep an eye on this news. So we've got news potentially coming through. Guys, we'll just keep an eye on, guys, just keep an eye on the news and what they do. Okay, that one. Just keep a very close eye, guys, on this FDAX because we are sort of wading into a little bit of news now. So we are wading into news. And if we get caught on that news, well, it's not caught on the news. That's actually not correct. But if we were to get a really robust news announcement, these guys will probably move the market quite quickly. Now, let's just see what are these FDAX traders going to do here. All right, now for the NASDAQ traders, I'm still not seeing any selling deltas at all. So that would suggest not a lot of institutional interest in selling. As that might be because the FDAX and FESX are back inside their OSRs. All right, so we're just going to tread a little bit carefully, guys. Just tread a little bit carefully here on FDAX. All right, looks like some of the French traders, guys, or some of the European traders might be anticipating the S&P 500 moving to the high side here. Let's start clearing this NASDAQ of Fibonacci. As for the FDAX traders, your volume is just okay. You are picking up an R1 reversal. Let me just double check that to be the case. It's only just, guys and girls, it's only just a reversal. For the R1 traders here on FDAX. I say only just a reversal because the sellers actually own the stair step. Right? So the sellers own the stair step on the FDAX. So selling based reversals will generally be a little bit weaker, guys, when the sellers own the stair step. A very key level for these guys on FDAX, guys, if the sellers can push back down around the 985 mark, then that's going to be a sign that there could be anticipation of a dodgy news announcement coming through. Dodgy being a technical trading term, of course. So we'll just watch what these buyers are doing, guys. The buyers obviously are fueling the FESX buyers are back inside their OSR. So they're actually fueling the buying on the FDAX. The FDAX buyers will typically not buy into the R1. As we're 40 minutes in, I'm just watching what they're doing, guys, because again, the reversal off the FDAX is not a very strong reversal, guys, off the R1 against the stair step. Okay, now again, for the NASDAQ traders, you're about to pick up an efficient long, guys. It is going to be a very, very strong candle. The flip side of the very strong candle on the S&P, guys, the flip side of that argument, if I may, is that the S&P is about to push into, again, the 2025 all-time high and the 2024 all-time high. If we do get above those levels, guys, on the S&P 500, then again, we're going to see everything start to push to the high side. As for the NASDAQ traders, you're about to trade into a very, very key Fibonacci level here, guys. Okay, very, very key Fibonacci level. So once again, the only way we can go long on the NASDAQ, guys, we would need an incredible retrace and an incredible rejection, which we don't have yet. All right, there's going to be a lot of S&P traders that are very concerned about the all-time high here. So I would suggest, guys, we are better off going short, not long on the NASDAQ. The risk on the NASDAQ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the risk will be slightly outside most profiles. All right, so a little bit too much risk on the NASDAQ. I would suggest, guys, we must get a structured retrace and we must get a structured rejection. At this point in time, we would need a minimum seller retrace down to this 23.6, which we do not have yet. So I would suggest the NASDAQ traders are better off not focusing on the long. You're actually better off on waiting for the sellers to push in and fail before we would then seek to take a trade. Now, some of you may want to go long, guys. I just don't suggest it at this point in time. Okay, Dan, mate, have a good one. Have a good one. Steve, well done, mate. Well done, well done, well done. Steve's had a really good trade. So at this stage, as now my humble reading of the market, I would not be long on the NASDAQ. I think we're better off going short. We don't have a valid short yet, and we don't have a valid long. So they're kind of scissoring, guys, depending on what this news announcement does. FDAX, you've got a double top, which means that again, if you are gonna reverse off the R1 as N24,000, the double top is pushed up. As ideally, you'd be short 2 points underneath the R1 at 998. Your volatility is dropping, so you'd be looking for a 5 and a 10-point target. That's a 5 and a 10-point target. I would suggest at this stage, guys, if you're short on the FDAX, then you've gone through your first target. You've controlled your risk. We are slowly navigating towards the news. As we are navigating towards the news announcement, I don't think the French announcement is going to rock us. It's the German one we've got to be careful of. And we generally don't take any trades in the last 15 minutes anyway. So we should be okay. We should be okay regarding that. Okay, let me just do this. Now, again, key market levels for the FDAX. I'm going to keep a very close eye on the NASDAQ for you guys. The NASDAQ has been quite technical to trade today, right? We've avoided a really lovely losing trade by looking for that agreement between the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Let me just double check those. When is that news announcement? Okay, 4:50 p.m. What do we know for? So we've got a little bit of time. Now, guys, for the FTX traders, your volatility is dropping. All right. So again, if you did see reason to go short with the double top, guys, underneath the R1, your entries at double check your entry. Your entry is at 98, guys. Your first target is 93. So they've already gone through your first target. I certainly would not be holding risk, guys. I wouldn't be holding risk on the FTX leading into the French news announcement in case for some reason it is bizarrely positive and the market runs. As it's not normally the French news announcement the market responds to. It's normally the German one, as we've been through already. So at this stage, guys, for the Nazi traders, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. We have not got a structured retrace. Right? We have not got a structured retrace in order to go long. At this stage, we are setting up a static bar reversal short. As on the NASDAQ, it would appear that the S&P 500 is going to agree with that. Yeah, definitely. No, we're not going long. So what we need, guys, what we need for the NASDAQ traders is we must get, this is a static bar reversal. We must get the buyers showing, guys. We must get the buyers showing and failing very, very early in the candle. All right. Now, if you are a static bar reversal trader, as you have an entry short as at 95.50, right? 2 ticks underneath the candle. Now, again, we're going to use exactly the same risk caveats as we have before. Just be aware, actually, NASDAQ traders, you are in the last 15 minutes of the session, guys, which for some of you means you don't take a trade, right? Really important point. So we can reduce our failure rate on the NASDAQ, guys, by around 70% by just waiting for the next 15 minutes and then taking a trade on the turn of the hour. Right now, at this stage, there's no counter Fibonacci issue with the short. But what we're looking for is a really, really obvious structured retrace. So Fibonacci comes down here, must be a structured rejection. Again, the SBR indicator is triggered, saying here is a really, really good little sell opportunity. But again, guys, timing-wise, you're probably better off, or has been proven by the stats, you are better off waiting for the turn of the hour trade. Absolutely no question about that at all. Okay, so again, if we were to push up, guys, the classic Fibonacci failure there at the 90%, the big green one running across the screen. The smaller fibs are failing at the evil twins. If you were to now get an aggressive sell down off those twins, like a really aggressive little sell down, then that static bar reversal is likely to trigger. It's likely to run on a little bit, but because we're heading into the French news, the run on may actually be affected by the news. All right, now, generally speaking, guys, the big boys and girls, so bottom right-hand corner, they will tend to go early. So the institutions that run, the institutions that run the FESX, right? So the institutions that run that market, okay, are highly likely to tell us, or highly likely to get earlier information on what the market is doing. So FESX looks like it might want to try and sell down into the French news. So it may want to try and sell down into the French news. Okay, let's just have a look and see what they're doing. Okay, so we'll see, have a look what they're doing. Obviously, the reversal off the R1, for those people that do trade off the R1 on FDAX, if you trade off a double top, that's obviously moved in the right direction, no question about that. But we are right on the knife edge of that news. I was right on the knife edge of the news. So I wouldn't be taking any new trades on the French. Look at the NASDAQ. I wouldn't be taking any new trades, guys, on the FDAX at this point in time. What I'd keep a very close eye on for the Nazi traders, we might be staring down the barrel. Well done, MJ. Nice. That's a 10-point trade, but that's a really good trade. What we're probably going to keep a very close eye on, guys, at this point in time is how the the European markets respond to the French news. Now that's about 1 minute and 17 seconds away. Guys, you'll see that. Look at the NASDAQ. Of course, NASDAQ. Of course. What I want to do, guys, what I want to do is highlight to everybody, if I can, there's a great learning here. Can everybody see the SBR indicator? The SBR indicator has triggered on both the NASDAQ and also the S&P 500 simultaneously. So that is the dual market signal that I was looking for around about 5 minutes ago. Please don't embarrass me on this one. So we got static bar reversal short on both US markets simultaneously. It's exactly what I said at the start of the session we were looking for, and it's come right when we don't normally take a trade. That's not fair. That's not fair. Dan, nice work. No, mate, well done, well done. So the giveaway, guys, the giveaway, if I can, guys and girls, is this. All right, so see, you've got this structured retrace, really good rejection of Fibonacci. All right, there would be mathematicians out there in the world that would say, well, you know what, Lockie, I'm just going to run with the maths. It doesn't matter about the time. Now, someone would have looked down the bottom and said, hang on, we've got a matching signal on the S&P 500 as well. So for the S&P traders, static bar reversal as off the 2025 high is 100% valid for a 4-tick target. So if you guys were short at 83.75, your first target would be 82.75. Right now, you're in a good spot. For the NASDAQ traders, again, our turn of the hour trade, we would want the buyers to push back up to where they ultimately failed, and we want to reload that static bar reversal short. Again, or we get the buyers to push up really, really, really nicely, and we can trade this as a 4-point turning bar short, guys. It's mathematically perfect. Please don't trigger now, though. It's not fair when they don't do what they're meant to. But mathematically, guys, so the math wins. Has anyone ever heard the expression "trade what you see, not what you think"? So it means that the mathematics behind the indicator has won, guys. Has won the debate on that one. Now we're just sitting on this German news. It's only around about 3 minutes away. We don't take any new trades, guys, in the last 15 minutes on the FDAX anyway, unless it's a pivot-based reversal. And if anybody has ended off the R1, as MJ has done, guys, it's actually gone okay. Keith, well done. Cole, you're on the money. You're on the money. Trading when you're tired, guys. Trading when you're tired can cause trouble. There is no question about that. All right. So at this stage, going to keep a very close eye, guys. Keep a very close eye on again the news. The news might actually not do anything, guys. I don't want to kind of rev us up for this amazing news announcement that actually turns around and does nothing. That would be a little bit that'd be a little bit crazy. Flip side is we don't know, guys. We just don't know with this German news announcement in particular. There was a trading, guys. There was a session. Oh, it would have been 2 or 3 months ago. Cody was running a session, and there was an orange flag German news announcement that literally came out, and the market went gangbusters. Like it should not have responded to that particular news like it did, and it went absolutely nuts. Right? It went absolutely nuts. So we'll just err on the side of caution. So I'd suggest the turn of the hour trade for the FDAX traders will be short. That's around about 8 minutes away, 7 minutes away, actually. For the NASDAQ traders, we're going to be short again. If I have any S&P 500 traders that are short on that static bar reversal off the high, you've actually got a classic double failure reversal where you've pushed up to the same price level twice. So again, I'm hoping we sell the FDAX back down, because when we sold it down last time, we got a beautiful response, guys, down the bottom here. Like a really, really lovely response. MJ, look, could be the case, and the funniest thing being, mate, is it kind of, when this news comes out, it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. And I had a lot of trouble accepting this when I was learning to trade. It doesn't really matter what the numbers are. It matters on what people think of the numbers. So even if the numbers are positive, if traders globally don't like the numbers, then they'll tank it. And then we end up in a crazy situation whereby, so we could get news going the wrong way, and that's why we don't ultimately, guys, focus on fundamentals. That's the reason we don't do that. Now at this stage, guys, we've got 30 or so seconds. We'll just let the news come out, then we'll let the hour turn, and then we'll basically reassess, and off we go again. The US markets, guys, have clearly decided the S&P 500 does not want to go a great deal higher. Guys, I'm really excited, guys, at the top of the jar here, because we said we're not going long because we didn't get the required push, retrace, reject that we normally get. Guys, so again, we've actually dodged, guys, today on the NASDAQ. If I can be so bold, we've actually dodged 2 potential longs because the S&P 500 didn't agree. All right, now we'll just let the German news do what it does. Guys, at this stage, there's been no response to the market whatsoever. For the FTX, again, we can't take a new trade. We are above the R1, as we are above the R1. So I'd like to see the sellers push back below the R1 before we look for a turn of the hour trade. Remy, SBR short, stop out 21 times 4. Mate, that's a great trade. So you're short on the NASDAQ SBR. Okay. All right, I'll put a little circle around that. I'm going to put a little note here that it's only the experienced traders that have taken that trade. Okay, now at this stage, right, so at this stage, this is the German news. Now, man, if we weren't on the turn of the hour, that delta is in such a good spot on NASDAQ. I'm not going to call it, guys. I'm not going to call it as an entry. It is in a good spot. There's no question about that. But we're right on the Widowmaker candle. Right now, the actual sellers have just stolen the stair step, guys, on the US markets as well. All right. So again, we're not going to sell this delta with 3 minutes or so to go on the turn of the hour. That would not be smart. Again, we're looking for the turn of the hour trade. So we're looking for the turn of the hour trade is definitely what I'm after. The German numbers, at this stage look to, just by the candle, the interpretation of the German numbers, guys, would appear that they don't like the numbers. Right, we'll just see what the Germans do. Obviously, wow, look at this. Look at this. Have I got anybody, guys? Have I got anybody short? I might have some of the slightly more experienced traders short on the SBR because of that 90 green Fibonacci we were talking about. Have I got? Yeah, well, well done, MJ. Well done. Well done. Well, Dan the man. You are really starting to impress me. You are. You are. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you. There's no question about that. I'm excited for you. Now, at this stage, the yeah, no, Dan, it's okay, man, and it's again it's cutting your teeth. That's the most important thing. Okay, all right, Ken, how are you, mate? I hope you're fantastic. I hope you're fantastic. This news, guys, at this point in time, the news is obviously a little bit negative. So it's a little bit negative. Again, it doesn't, as I said before, it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. What matters most importantly is that the what matters most importantly is how the numbers ultimately, how are the numbers interpreted. Is that's really where the science is. So we'll just let the Germans do what they're doing. We've only got 60 seconds to go. The 50 fib of the day is going to prove to be a bit of an issue for the FDAX, but the FDAX will be looking at the FESX at this point in time. These are really lovely selling candles. Those really lovely selling candles on the American market. Right, that structured retrace on that NASDAQ SBR was really good. Like really, really, really good. So at this stage, 1, 2, 3, guys. So the buyers have lost control of the stair step on the lost control of the stair step guys on the FDAX. Volume on FDAX, guys, has basically disappeared. So the volume has disappeared for us. So again, for our turn of the hour trade on the FDAX, we're going to have to watch for a volume increase, very, very similar to what we needed to watch for yesterday. It was very, very similar. Still short. Well done, mate. Well done, well done, well done. That is again, absolutely fantastic. FDAX has given us a very, very strong sell candle that at this point in time, we can't take advantage of. So we can't take advantage of that. Right, now S&P strong sell candle. Let's just wait for these guys to sort themselves out. Guys, I can't send you long on the FDAX, guys, off the 50 of the day. I know sellers on the stair step. I can't send you long until we get like a confirmed push down inside the new hour that fails where it's required to fail. Now I note that wow, that was a very heavy punch, guys. So the buyers were trying to struggle here on the FDAX on low volume, and the sellers just annihilated them. The ultimate test, guys, for the FDAX will be if they can get down around about the 961 level. That'll be the 961. That'll be a really, really interesting test for them. It's very, very interesting test if they can push down through the 50 of the day. No, so no new trades over here, guys. We might be looking for micro trend. I just might be looking for micro trend trades. No, and no at this point in time. Okay. I'm looking, guys. I'm looking for the FDAX. Guys, I'm looking for the FDAX to try and punch 962 is a very, very important number for these guys on the FDAX. Okay, at this stage, I've got, again, so we're just to highlight for the FDAX traders, guys, we are not going long over the 50 fib of the day on such low volume. What I'm looking for is sort of the structural integrity of the DAX, sort of around about the 962 mark. I'd be very interested in seeing if they get down near 962, very interested to see what they do with it. Now, let's just see what they've got here. I'll give the sellers, guys, one more selling push on FDAX. The Americans have decided they've had enough of selling. So this is brilliant, guys. This is why we don't take these deltas in the Widowmaker candle. That's ultimately why it's called the Widowmaker. So today we've actually avoided a number of losing trades by being very, very strict on our rules. And I do think, guys, that's really important. Me personally, I think that's really, really, really important. I do want the FTX guys down around about that 962 level. That's because if we threaten, if we go much lower than where we are, we go much lower than where we are, guys, it'd be a very, very good sign as to what the sellers may be thinking. Okay, let's see what these guys are doing now. So FDAX, our volume is really low. It's really, really, really low, like below the hundreds. Okay. Now, I think it's really exciting, guys. We've avoided 3 losing trades on the NASDAQ. That to me is, I sound arrogant, right? I think it's brilliant. When we miss the losers and we only attract the winners, or we just follow our rules, I think it's actually quite important. Okay, so at this stage, we're not going long on the FDAX, guys. I know I said that before. Your volume is a little bit too low. Your volume is a little bit too low. So for the FDAX, the magic level is 962. That's what they're doing right now. Right now, it's all good. All good. So we'll keep an eye on the volume, guys. So keep an eye on the volume. At this point in time, they've gone exactly to 962, going back 961. That was the magic number on FDAX to see how serious these guys are about selling, and they're clearly quite serious. So what does that ultimately mean? That ultimately means that the FDAX, if we get a volume lift, we're looking for a really lovely trade. If we get a volume lift, we are looking for a trade. Let me just... Okay. I was just watching what they're doing. So you guys have traded really, really well. You guys have traded really, really well, because if you have come into today, guys, if you've come in today, again, we've got low volume leading in. We've got low volume leading in. That normally means low volatility. It means we've got to be very, 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 very open to following the rules, letting the maths do all the work for us. There is no question about that. We've taken only valid trades, and guys, so far those trades have gone where they need to go. The disappointing thing, guys, for me on the FDAX today, the disappointing thing would be that if this little candle here closed back inside the lower OSR, then we could have taken these deltas, and some of these deltas have gone 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 points, guys. So daily KPI on FDAX is 5. That move has gone 35. So we could have actually made some really good money out of it, but we did pick up the potential for reversing off the R1, which has gone quite well. Yes, Ken, spot on the mark. Andy, I'm just testing placing orders via TradeAvate. Think I've got it sorted. Well done, mate. Plus 10 for the night. That's an awesome result. So good job. Good job, good job, good job. Now let's have a quick look. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put, again, let me grab this little square. All right, so I think the lesson, guys, for everybody today, whether you're no SP500 agreement. Okay, so whether you're in our normal LTR, guys, or you're just watching what we're doing at the moment, again, if we get situations like this, as in the LTR we normally run, if we get situations like this, then we simply just don't take the trade. Now, again, if we were a little bit cowboy, we would have taken the trade and been knocked out. As a result, missed a winning trade. And then if you're a little bit cowboy would have taken this one, we would have also been knocked out. So I do think it's exciting. As that, again, mind you, I sound biased, right? But I do think it's exciting that we've missed multiple losing trades that other people would have taken. So at the end of the day, the game of trading is won by those who are disciplined and patient long enough to make money, which is ultimately what we've done, which is great. So we'll just see, guys. We'll just watch what these guys are doing now. Geez, I do like that. I do like that. A saved goal is as good as a what's that? A saved goal is as good as a goal. Yeah, exactly right, man. Exactly right. Now, guys, we're 10 minutes into the second hour. Are there any questions? Are there any questions at all? I should learn to spell experience. That would that would be amazing. Any questions at all about anything we've done so far? It has been quite a slow session so far. But we are leading into US news. So for those people that are going to be in the virtual live trading room tonight, guys, that is open to everybody that's got an LTR subscription. If you are going to be in that, guys, just watch that 9:30 p.m. news. Guys, I'm expecting the virtual LTR to grow in popularity over a couple of months. It's not a popularity competition. You guys are used to having a trading room which is commentated. Now, some people love that. Other people would prefer no commentary whatsoever. They just want to watch the charts. Whereas the virtual LTR is a lovely hybrid between the two. Yeah, Cole, they're coming, mate. They're coming. I have a sneaking suspicion that over time, as people find out about the US Open and how ridiculously easy the US Open is to trade, it was a walk in the park again last night. As it would have been very hard to screw it up last night. I don't want to sound arrogant. Very hard to screw that up. Very hard to screw that up last night. US market early close. Yes, guys. So we're heading into July 4th. Guys, now July 4 is now. Who's got a great memory, guys? Who's got a great memory? Why is July the 4th important? I know it's US Independence Day, but let's talk about really important stuff. Does anybody remember? Anybody remember? Have I got a son that was born 10 days early on US Independence Day? Have we got a birthday in the house tomorrow, guys? Yes, we do. So my first boy, Luca, he turns 12 tomorrow. He turns 12. So again, exciting time for us, guys, because Luca was born 10 days early, and he was born on one of the only days of the year we can't trade the US Open. So it was actually quite brilliant. So yeah, so happy birthday to Luca for tomorrow, guys. 12 years old. Man, I can't believe that. 12 years old. Oh, dearie me. It's 12 years old, quite amazing stuff. Diane, how are we celebrating his birthday? He's going to school, so that'll be super exciting for him. Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, we'll be celebrating his birthday. I think on Sunday we're going. Again, Sunday at this stage we'll be going up into the mountains even higher than where we are. Andy, well done, mate. Brilliant. We will be going up into the mountains to swim in the rivers. We were going to go surfing at Wakayama, but there's a lot of earthquakes around at the moment, and we don't want to be surfing and have a tsunami come and say g'day. So, thank you today. Thank you, Emra. Thank you. That's perfect. Keith, you've had a positive session as well. No, MJ, no, we're not doing birthdays off. No, you are on the money. No, he's excited. Nice, he's excited, and I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting. 12 years old though, like, oh man, does everyone realize it's already July? We're already halfway through 2025, so it's I think it's really important you get your trading exactly where you need it to be as quickly as possible, guys, and get on with the job of doing the best you possibly can. Keith, yeah, I wasn't going to mention that. I wasn't going to mention that. Now, guys, so FDAX traders, you've had it, you've basically had it easier than most today, which is important. The static bar reversal we spoke about, it's gone quite well. The pivot based reversal also gone quite well. First time we got to the 55th of the day, a number of you went long, which is great. We then cruised down here, got to yesterday's high. A number of you reversed off yesterday's high. That went quite well. So FDAX, you've picked up, depending on how you trade, maybe 1, 2, 3 very obvious trades. There could be a fourth or a fifth in there. It could be a fourth or a fifth. For the NASDAQ traders, you guys have basically dodged 3 losing trades, and depending on how you trade, you've picked up either 1 or 2 winning trades. S&P, you guys have picked up 1 really lovely trade, really lovely trade. As apart from that, the market's really quiet today. So I do like, guys, on the noisy days, obviously it moves a lot faster than this and becomes a lot easier to trade. On the slow days, if your strategy still works, guys, on the fast days and the slow days, you know you're on the right side of the mathematics of the market, which is really exciting. It's very, very, very exciting indeed. Now, let me just have a look here. I'm just looking at the FDAX. Guys, the FDAX, if you're a static trader, guys, if you like the candles closing before you take a trade, the FDAX was really, really simple to trade today, which is always a very positive sign. It's always a positive sign. Craig, thanks for your awesome result for the day. Thanks, everybody. Fantastic. Guys, now don't forget, guys, if you're coming to the so that launch, the launch of the advanced trading program, guys, that virtual launch, we're doing next Thursday. So it goes after the TTP session. Is there anyone out there in the world, guys, that doesn't have the link, that wants the link to that? Because I will be doing a fair bit of chart analysis there. So you are going to be learning things. Even if you don't want to come and do some advanced trading, you will be learning stuff anyway. That's my pleasure. I quite enjoy doing that. Now we're about to set up shorts, guys. Just watching what everybody's doing. Again, let's check the volume. These guys look like they do want to go short. FDAX, your volume is now too low to go long. So we're looking for shorts. I'm basically looking for shorts everywhere. So just let these candles close. Just let the candles close. Guys, let them basically show us what they're doing. For the FDAX, guys, what I'm looking for is an increase in volume. I was looking for an increase in volume. I would love for the FESX in particular to close. Again, if we're going to go short, it's got to close below its OSR. You can see the very powerful level here, guys, is working beautifully. So we need to close below the OSR. So we need to close below the OSR if we're going to go short, guys, we need the Europeans to basically lead the charge on this one. What's our time? So our timing's okay, guys. I just need the volume. I need the volume to come back, guys, because volume is almost an indicator of predictability. Again, these guys become very, very predictable when their volume's up. Okay, very, very predictable. Look at this 24,000. Wow. All right, so this stage, guys, we're going to have a gap Fibonacci, which is perfect. We've got 2 minutes to go. Guys, I really need the Europeans to give us some guidance here. S&P is trying to sell down to a previous daily high. So tell you what trade is most likely to set up, guys. We're probably going to get a little bit of a sell down on the S&P 500, and they're going to come and pick up that static bar reversal long. So for the S&P traders, if they were to sell down below 6279, we're looking for a long at 6279 because of that SBR indicator over there on the left-hand side. For the FDAX to go short, guys, we would need a big, strong, efficient CORPC candle. So for those that are not aware, that's closing outside the range of the previous candle. And we don't want to go short into a pivot. This will be very interesting to see what they do. Okay, so they're selling. There's no question. Are you guys going to get this FESX, guys? I think it's going to drag the FDAX just kicking and screaming. Let's just have a look what they do. All right, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. What are they doing? For the S&P, you guys are looking for a long, not a short. So if the sellers do sell down on the next candle and touch the pre-top, if they do touch the pre-top, you're trying to go long, guys, at 6279. For the NASDAQ, you guys are looking for a sell down below the 76 Fibonacci's. All right, looking for a sell down below those 76 fibs with the intent of picking up a reversal long that agrees with the S&P. For the FDAX, your volume is just okay. And at this point in time, you've got no signals. so for the FDAX, guys, so note that the FESX is gapped down, guys. Not only is the candle gapped down, but it's also under its lower OSR at this point in time. That means we can only go short on the FDAX, and we don't have permission to go short because we are assuming a close over a pivot. So for the FDAX traders, I've got nothing for you, other than I think it's going to sell down. And if it does, then it's going to drag everybody with it. Now, let's just watch this European very closely. Are there any questions at all, guys? Any questions at all? If you are trading later on tonight, guys, please watch 9:30 p.m. news. Guys, the virtual, that's 9:30 p.m. my time. Guys, that virtual LTR will be turned on 8 p.m. Sydney time. Guys, 8 p.m. Sydney time, once the Europeans come back from lunch. Let's have a look. Guys, let's have a look. See what these guys are doing. So for the S&P, S&P, you want them to sell down, right? Touch the pre-top. It's an arrow on it, and you're looking for a 4-tick target, guys, with an entry point at 6279. As for the NASDAQ traders, we need the S&P 500 to sell down first. We want the NASDAQ traders to push well beyond that 76 fib. As well beyond the 76. It'd be great if they push down around here. I said, let them push. Please let them push. Let them push. They need to really impress you. Guys, really impress you. The volatility is low. The volume is low. In fact, NASDAQ, your volume is now under 300. So that means you're officially on a volume warning. What I'd suggest to all the NASDAQ traders, guys, is you're probably better off coming back, guys, at 8 p.m. Sydney time tonight, 8 p.m. Sydney time. So around about 1.5 hours from now, guys, you're probably better off coming back when there's more volume and more volatility. The flip side of that, if you're absolutely desperate to get a trade, guys, if the NASDAQ sells down to these 88.6 just here, and the S&P sells down to the pre-top and fails, then we're looking for short range longs going back the other way. All right, but we've just got to be really careful. All right, so the NASDAQ drops under 300, which it is for the last 4 candles. They start to become really, really fickle about the way they move. So as much as the signals will work, they'll continue to do what they need to do, which is great. You are potentially better off, right? Potentially better off coming back a little bit later when the volatility is back up again, and off we go. Mate, I'm going to be in the virtual LTR a little bit later on, so I'll be there. Not that that's a very exciting reason to be there, but mate, I will be there. From when will I get there? Mate, about 8 p.m. Japan time. I'll jump in. Yeah, so I'll be in there. I'll see what the volume's like, see what the volatility's like, and we will go from there. Right, so at this stage, a quick little summary. Again, I believe we've done really well on the NASDAQ today. We've actually avoided a couple of losing trades because we didn't break our rules. The only trades we've spoken about have gone to target, which is exciting. That's on both US markets and FDAX. You've had a lot easier than everyone else today. Everything we've spoken about has gone well. As if you went statically on the FDAX in particular, everything's gone really, really well. So guys, I think we're in a good place. Are there any questions? Was any questions at all? Normally young Arlen goes, we'll jump on the mic about this time. So I do believe that we've done well today. So if there's any questions at all, please do not be shy. It's been a very quiet day, guys. It's been either a profitable day or a neutral day, which is really exciting. It's really, really exciting because, again, we normally get one quiet day a week. If today is the quiet day, then tomorrow it will be a lot more fun. Tomorrow will be a lot more fun. No question about that at all. And I see, guys, once again, Emra, all good. Now I see that the OSR trading last night on the S&P 500 was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So for those of you that are perfecting that trading style, I've written an OSR trading book for you, guys. So that's going to be presented at the advanced trading course in Bali. That's only 4 months away now, guys. We were talking about that when it was 9 months out. Now that trading course is only 4 months out. So we will spend a lot of time on the OSR, guys, on that course, just to get everybody in a really, really good place. No questions. You guys are all quiet. Mind you, we might have explained things properly. So we might have actually done a reasonable job of that, which if that's the case, then that's really exciting. Now I'm just looking at the FESX here because I could have potentially, the FESX got caught down here off these pivots. I'm looking at these buying deltas on the FDAX. I could have actually done a better job of calling you into these deltas based on the fact that the FESX was inside its OSR. I could have done a better job there. It just would have meant the FDAX traders picked up another really lovely trade. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Perfect. All right, so guys, if we've got no questions at all, for those that are going to be in the virtual LTR tonight, guys, it'll be on at 8 p.m. Sydney time. I'll be in at 8 p.m. Japan time, guys, to just check on the volatility and the volume. We do have that US news a little bit later on today, guys. We do have US news on. So again, if you are hypersensitive to red flag news, watch 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time. So 10:30 p.m. Sydney time, markets will go ballistic. Normally they'll shoot in one direction, fail badly at Fibonacci, guys. So the news-based traders will be able to grab that news announcement. When it fails to go up, they'll be able to turn around and send it back down again. That normally produces some really big trades, which can actually be really, really exciting to watch. There's no doubt about that. Well, I think, guys, we're good. Perfect, 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 perfect. Right, so I've got a message here, guys, that our recording will stop in a couple of minutes. I don't think we've got any questions, guys, so we're just waiting for young Arlen to come back, guys, at TTP. While we are waiting for her to come back, guys, a big shout out, if I can, guys, to TTP. So for all of their support, guys, it's been an exciting journey so far. There's no doubt. And again, guys, as we move towards that US Open live trading room for you guys, that should work really, really well for a number of you. Guys, that'll be good fun because we'll get the best of Europe, we'll get the best of the US, and for those that are already part of Samurai, you can jump in the US close as well, which will be good, will be great. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Emerald, see how we go. I've got a couple of really good traders, guys, that are trading the US Open at the moment. They're doing very, very well. So if we do need a moderated live trading room for that session, more than happy to develop that capability, guys, over the rest of this year. It is a very, very exciting time slot to trade. It's really, really, really exciting time slot. And may I suggest, guys, if the demand is there, guys, if the demand is there, we can put it on. And off we rock and roll. Yeah, I'm just watching as the volume goes. Volume is, well, what are we doing on FTAX? So the volume is still right down. So I'd suggest at this stage, as the European traders will go to lunch very soon. They'll be waiting for the US news to know what to do. For the Nazi, your volume, what are we looking at this stage? Your volume is down under 300. Right, so I'd be a little bit careful with that one until the US news at 9:30 p.m. And guys, we were right mentally. Sorry, my little princess has just come to say g'day. Arlen, I'll turn this. So just as Arlen turns on her camera, I say my little princess.
Wait, did you? Yeah, that was funny. I realized it was your kid, but did you just realize that when you had your screen off, your name was Lachlan, and now when you have your camera on, you're Cody again?
I had no, well, no, I didn't know that. So there you go. So Cody wants to be a film star, maybe. Is that it? I'm not sure. So,
maybe. That was interesting. But where's the princess? How is she doing?
She's run away. She was grabbed as she came into the office, so she knows it's time for Daddy to finish. Today, Arlen, we dodged a couple of losing trades on the Nasdaq because we didn't have dual market agreement. Everything we did on the FTAX was awesome. And everything we did on the S&P was awesome. And so we've had winning trades right across. If we didn't obey our rules, we would have had two big losers on the NASDAQ, and everyone would be very annoyed. As it turns out, we have obeyed our rules, and we did okay. We did okay. So there we go.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Perfect.
So thank you, Lachlan, that identifies as Cody. Thank you so much for today's session. And everyone, I hope you're happy. We had the good trades going on and everything. Quick teaser for next week. We're going to have the live trading room in the morning hours European time. So like 9:30 GMT plus 3. And in the afternoon, we will have another live trading session. So if anyone's interested, we will announce it later on today. You're hearing it here first, folks. It's going to be like a one-time webinar with some trading indicators. So if anyone's interested, I'm just letting you know. And also soon, hopefully very soon, we're going to have also a live trading room in collaboration here with Mr. Lucky Cody Samurai Day Trading. And we're going to do just like another collaboration, but for a US market open. So guys, keep an eye out for that. We're working on it. We're trying to make everything even better, just much nicer and better. So coming soon. And I mean, that's it from my side for today. Lachlan, thank you so much for another great and insightful session.
Perfect. Well, we did good. We did good today. And again, the markets are going to go ballistic at 9:30 when the US news comes out. So once again, thank you, Arlen. Thank you, TTP. Perfect.
Thank you so much. See you.